Okay guys, episodes 4 to 6, we are back for them. Love is Blind, Valentine's weekend, it is Sunday. But yeah, let's get into it. Episode 4. So Sarah and Ben are talking and she's expressing, you know, social causes that are important to her. She's talking about Black Lives Matter. They even had a conversation about how her sister is part of the LGBTQ community, and he seemed to kind of soothe her with his response, but it wasn't 100%, I'd say. Anyway, his response to her with all of this was, yeah, I'm ignorant to all that stuff. Sorry, what? And she asked him, okay, so what are your thoughts on Black Lives Matter? And he said, I'm not one way or the other. He just keeps out of it. So that's his take on it. I'm like, okay, Ben, I see you. And you know what? Shout out to Sarah for trying to do the work, trying to educate him, but it just feels like he's not trying to hear all that. He's just like, yeah. And it's like he's scared to say these things. Like he's saying, I'm leaning more towards what you're saying. Like instead of actually saying Black Lives Matter, like say it. Why are you so... It's not a bad word. It's not an offensive word. Say it. Black lives do matter. He's very much giving all lives matter, but maybe I'm overly sensitive. I don't know. Comment below your thoughts on that whole Ben and Sarah conversation. So Madison and Mason are in the pods and he's basically saying to her like, look, I'm committed to you. And she's basically like, thanks for sharing. She doesn't say it back. And then this is one of those moments where I'm making my notes and I look up, I'm like, how did we get here? They're talking about cream pies. Naive me, I genuinely think they're talking about cream pies. Come to find out. They get sexual. This cast is so horny. So then we have Madison on her date with Alex and she's basically like to him, is him that she wants. And they become boyfriend and girlfriend. So I'm like, with the whole Mason thing and her wanting him to say that, was it ego or was it, you know, I want to hear it and see how I feel after? Because this is like multi-dating on a whole new level, multi-dating for marriage. So as much as we can sit back and judge, it's such a unique experience that we haven't been through. So I was just like, did she actually want to hear it from him and decide, do I want him? Or yeah, or was it ego? So they go back to their headquarters, the boys' headquarters, the girls' headquarters, and let everybody know they're now in a relationship. And I'm thinking, oh snap, I don't think Mason knows that it's Alex. Or does he? I don't think so. Comment below if you feel like Mason had an idea that the other guy was Alex. So we see Brittany and Devin, and Devin's opening up about like, you know, basketball and getting an injury or like having something wrong with him, and the doctor's trying to figure out what's going on, and him getting into a dark place, and with the like medicine and taking it and taking a lot of it. In all of that, he learned to put his trust in God, and then things were okay in the end. And it was a lovely moment they had together. She was getting emotional hearing him talking about it, and he like, you know, poured his heart out to her. And so she's like, you know, I'm gonna be open with you too. And so Brittany opens up about the fact that she had a relationship with a woman and she just likes people for who they are, but deep down she felt like she wouldn't marry a woman, she would marry a man. However, this is an issue for him. It seems to be an issue for him. Fast track to now, we see Devin and Virginia. I don't know, again, maybe I'm just too sensitive, but Virginia is kind of like laughing and downplaying, oh, their connection is just only basketball, like how much basketball can be in one house. It was giving a bit mean girl, and I didn't like that energy coming from Virginia, especially because Brittany, like, from what they showed us anyways, had nothing but nice things to say about Virginia. And they both know they're dating the same person. Yeah, we then see Devin open up to Virginia about the same thing. She gets emotional and I feel like they bond over it. I'm like, yeah, I think he's gonna pick her, because Brittany like bonded with him and opened up to him about something about her as well, to make him feel like you're not just putting yourself out here, I'm gonna put myself out here as well. But it just wasn't received well, whereas I feel like he enjoyed, like he liked Virginia's response more. And it just, after that I was like, yeah, it's Virginia. I always thought it was going to be her anyway, but that solidified it. So we see Taylor and Daniel and I'm like, yeah, they're clearly picking each other. They share a cute moment. She's speaking about her father and him being ill. And there's been moments where she's like, do you know what? I'm ready to leave. And he was just like, listen, if you leave, you can leave. Don't worry. I will find you. Like, if you need to go, don't worry. It's still you type thing. Like, he was reassuring her and it was sweet. But they had a few moments, like, I forgot what it was. Like, did we meet before or something? And he was like, oh, that's weird. And then she's like, no, it's not weird. And there were just moments, I feel like in the edit, they're letting us know. We hear in the preview, somebody's like, when the doors opened, I saw him and I felt like it's not the first time I've met him or seen him or something along those lines. And I was like, I feel like it's these two. So we see Dave and Molly. He's asking her what sort of ring she wants. And the fact that they show us this, I'm like, okay, yeah, he's picking Lauren. Because I feel like they're trying to lead us down the path of, oh, it's going to be Molly because he's bringing up the ring conversation. Throw us off on the other side. Like, I'm like, I don't think it is going to be Molly. He may have had that same conversation with Lauren, but they only just showed us the one with Molly. Also, again, I feel like, comment below your thoughts, but Molly gives me the vibes of, you know, I'm not like other girls, I'm so chill. Like, just how she handles the situation with David, whatever you want to call him. That's what she's given me. So we see Molly go back to the women's headquarters and she's like, yeah, Dave said he's gonna end things with the other girl. He's picking me. And I'm just like, we didn't really see him say that. And I'm thinking, is she making this up because she knows Lauren is the other girl and is trying to get to her? Or is there part that they're not showing us? Because how can someone make up such a lie? I'm like, is there more to this that we're not seeing? So yeah, we see Lauren going to a date with Dave. And she lets him know, like, Molly's going around saying you said she's your number one. And he manages, like, she's crying. It seems like she wants to leave. He manages to talk her off the ledge. And he's like, I can see myself marrying you. I haven't said that to anyone else. I'm like, fair enough, you haven't said that, but you've asked other people what rings they want. Like, you've insinuated a bit. Let's be, as much as I'm not Molly's number one fan, Dave, come on now. So then we see Brittany end things with Devin, and I'm glad. I'm glad she got the moment to stand in her power and be like, listen, your response to me being open to you about where I stand with women and everything like that, it wasn't for me. She didn't try and make him out to be a bad guy, like, that's how you feel. I don't judge you for it or anything like that, but I need more than that. And fair play. And like I said, I feel like Devin is messy, so I feel like she escaped, and I'm glad she got to end things on her terms and leave the experiment on a high, especially because we've seen what some black women can go through on this show, and they're like, Ashley. But also, side note, so now she goes and it's Devin and Virginia left. Every other couple we're looking at, they're all white, so they're the only couple of color, you could say. Like, there's nobody else. Also, something to note, when Brittany is ending things with Devin, she speaks so highly of Virginia. Virginia, take notes. So we see Virginia and Devin on a date. They're giving each other gifts. Virginia gives Devin, like, her grandparents' rings. Why do they do this on this show? Like, give, like, very meaningful, important things that have been passed down to their family. Somebody they've only known for a week and they haven't even seen their face. So we see Sarah and Ben talking about how, you know, going grocery shopping and then picking up a Starbucks after is sexy. Okay. And, you know, Sarah is saying, you know, she feels like she's met her twin flame. And I'm thinking, babe, did you not forget this is the All Lives Matter person that says, yeah, I don't bother myself with all those matters. And these are causes you say you truly care about, and this person is just committed to being ignorant about it all. That's your twin flame. Okay. But yeah, shortly after we see her in the pods and she's second guessing herself, having doubts, like, yeah, having doubts about, like, his beliefs and where he stands and everything like that. I'm like, okay, fair play. So we see them go into the pods on another day and she's like, you know, she needs reassurance on these, like, social causes. I don't know, he somewhat reassures her, but he keeps saying these things. Like, say what it is. Why is it so uncomfortable for you to say? I guess it works because he proposes, she says yes. Okay. Guys, I want to know, comment below your thoughts on Sarah and Ben and that whole situation, like, because yeah. So we see Dave and Molly on a date. He's crying, basically letting her know he's conflicted. And after like a tedious conversation, he ends up ending things with Molly. She's like, so what do you want to do? Like, yeah, I don't think she saw that coming. I think she was going to be endgame. But yeah, he ends up ending things with her. So Molly heads back to the women's quarters. She sees Lauren. She apologizes for, you know, saying these things in front of her. She didn't know. I don't know if I'm buying that. And she lets Lauren know, like, yeah, it's you that David, whatever you want to call him, it's you that he wants, and it's you that he wants to pursue. Yeah, they end up hugging it out. Lauren's a better woman than me, because I truly believe Molly knew what she was doing. Comment below your thoughts, though. But unless it's just edited like that, and maybe it's her smile, but her smile looks more conniving than what it actually is. But I just feel like Molly knew what she was up to in that moment. So yeah, then we see Lauren. She's still undecided with Dave at this point, but we see her go into the pods with Dave. They manage to talk things out and everything. But I feel like he's going to put her through the ringer. I feel like there's unresolved emotions he's got that's going to lead to just not a good time in their relationship. I don't know. Maybe, again, like I said, it could be editing. We could be so wrong. And Dave could end up being the best guy on this whole season, and they live happily ever after. So we see Sarah and Ben meet for the first time. They both seem very into each other. He does seem more into her, more enthusiastic, but they both seem like they're into each other. That's great. I don't know, comment below your thoughts on their first meeting. Dave proposes to Lauren. She of course says yes. We see Madison and Mason meet for a date. She ends up ending things with him. The guy didn't even get to have his pancakes. But yeah, he then goes on to say when he was saying, you know, he was just committed to her, he didn't mean it. Obviously because he knows he's still got Meg there, so he's trying to like save face a bit, I feel like. And so yeah, so we see Mason and Meg in the pod, and I feel like he's trying to dig himself out of a hole. So he's like, when I told Madison like she was my priority, she was my number one, or I'm committed to her, I didn't mean it. I'm 50-50 on that. Like, maybe I feel like he was definitely feeling Madison more than Meg, but we did see him still entertaining Meg after, so clearly she wasn't his only priority. He wasn't closed off, as they say. And then Meg asks Mason, did you feel like it didn't feel right you saying you're committed to only her after you found out she was dating Alex? And I'm like, is she dropping a bomb in this moment? Did he know that Alex was the other guy? Like, I really, I guess we're gonna have to wait till the reunion to ever find out. But I'm so curious, did he know that Alex was the other guy? And yeah, he tells her she's always been his number one. And I'm thinking, what a liar! Because Madison was clearly his number one. Anyway, that's the end of episode 5. On to episode 6. And in my notes I say, oh damn, Meg stood on business and she ended things with him. And I feel like in this season, I don't know, it seems like there are a lot more people that truly want marriage and to find their person as opposed to just stay on the show. Because she could have stayed with him, stayed on to the show, been featured, whatever, but she was like, no, I feel like Madison was your number one. I'm second best. I want no parts of it. I'm leaving. I'm not staying on any longer to this TV show. Kudos to you, Meg, for that, honestly. So then, yeah, we have Daniel and Taylor. They're reading letters to each other. In his letter, he says, we probably have never met. And more and more, I'm like, this is the couple we saw in the preview where they knew each other before or something. That was the vibe we got from the trailer. But yeah, he proposes to her, she says yes. So yeah, then we have Dave and Lauren meeting for the first time. They seem very attracted to each other, but there's something that feels a little off. I don't know if it's just in general the situation, meeting someone for the first time that you haven't seen their face, it's gonna be awkward. And I feel like sometimes they heighten and highlight the awkward moments from other people more so. Also, I'm just very skeptical of Dave anyway. Are there many men that I like in this? Alex was the guy I like the most. There's no more guys in this that I like. Oh dear. We also see Devin and Virginia get engaged. He writes her a letter. He then proposes. And in my notes I have here, as I said before, I realized they're the only non-white couple on, yeah. And I saw other races in the background in the headquarters, and we just didn't get to see their stories. And I'm like, Love is Blind, for this at least do better. So we have Alex and Madison on a date, and he brings up his worries about Madison being avoidant. And then they get onto the conversation of Mason, and things just get awkward, because I feel like Madison wants him to be like, basically, yeah, fuck Mason. And Alex is a very, like, I don't know, logical, open, understanding, emotionally intelligent guy, where he's like, I can see both sides. I can see how you feel hurt by Mason. I can see where Mason's coming from. And Madison doesn't like that. I think she wants her partner to be like, if there's anyone I don't like, you have to hate them, even if there's logic in where they're coming from. I don't want to hear that. Like, that's what that was giving. Yeah, she just sees it as, you don't have my back. And Alex is a very, I see things from all perspectives type of person. So maybe in that aspect they're not well suited, which is a shame, because like I said, of all the couples I saw, I really liked them in the beginning. And yeah, Madison is starting to seem like she's not feeling him anymore. It feels like she's shutting down in their conversation. And yeah, Alex just expresses his worries. Like, I feel like you're shutting down and it's worrying. And they discuss the future, and he's like, he doesn't want relationships where there's loads of arguments and stuff. And she's like, I can't promise that. And it leads to them just deciding, like, Alice, like, yeah, this is not gonna work, we're not getting engaged. And I'm like, oh my god, it just all fell apart in front of us. And I want to know you guys' thoughts on Madison, because it's like, was it her self-sabotaging, or was it him also being overly cautious, like, or was it them just not being compatible together? Like, where did they go wrong in that moment? Because it was like, I felt like they were in a good space, and it just all went downhill so fast. And I was rooting for them, but yeah, I can see where people may not be a fan of Madison. Like I said, she's very interesting. I'm gutted we don't get to, I mean, in the previews we do see her a bit, but I'm gutted we don't get her to be a character. We follow her story all throughout. We see Devin and Virginia meet for the first time. It seems like a lovely meeting. They both seem very attracted to each other. Like, nothing seemed like a red flag to me in their meeting. If you guys saw anything, comment below. But I just can't shake that they're gonna have some drama. So it's go time. Taylor and Daniel are meeting. Let's see, did they know each other? So we get their first meeting. So they meet, and she's like, she's nervous maybe about the height or whatever, but it won't be an issue. They meet, she's in heels, they're the same height, that's fine, but there's no mention of they knew each other. So I'm thinking, what couple could it be then? Do you know what? On paper, if I were to, like, if you wrote down notes, minutes of their meeting, there's no issue. But looking at it, I just don't feel the romance from them. I don't know if, like, she's in her head too much. But anyways, I was like, oh, maybe I was wrong. Like, maybe it wasn't them that knew each other from before. Then we go to 24 hours later. And yeah, Taylor's like, when the doors first opened, she was like, oh, he looks familiar, but maybe it's just because, was this what I pictured? Or his voice does sound familiar because she's been speaking to him the whole time and she knows him. So she was in her head about it all and forgot about it. But when she got home, she realized, I feel like he sent me a follow request. And he saw my Instagram not long before we came on this show. And she said on her Instagram, it's got everything about her. And these were the things they connected on. And she's like, if that's the case, he was able to, like, do his research, pull from things that are romantic. I'm like, I love Taco Bell. Oh, do I want Taco Bell tonight? Anyway, I love Taco Bell. I love Christmas, and did all these things that they organically bonded on. Did he do his research on my Instagram before? And when he clocked it was me, he then used these things against me, or well, used these things to win me over, but it wasn't genuine. This is what she's thinking. She's talking about it. He then comes to her hotel. I don't know if they're staying in the hotel, They meet in the the dinner hall, lunch place, lobby, whatever. And he's denying that he knew her. But I don't know if I'm buying it. She's asking him, did you follow me before this? And he's like, no. But he's giving sketchy. And again, I don't know if it's how it's edited. But also, guys, comment below your thoughts. Do you think it was him that tried to follow her? Because she was like, there's a specific picture. You're sat in front of a Christmas tree, legs crossed, holding a drink. And he's like, no, I don't have a picture like that. And I'm like, was it something slightly similar, like one detail missed and you're just technicalities? Is she just getting in her head? And then we fast forward to the preview of what's to come and we don't see them, but have they just taken them out to throw us off and she was wrong and they've never met before? Or have they met before? I want to know your thoughts below. Do you think, sorry, not met before, but he tried to follow her. I want to know your thoughts below. Do you think he did try to follow her before the show? She's clocked onto him, or she's just getting in her head? Let me know. But yeah, that's where episode 6 ends and where my drink ends. So guys, that is the final 3 episodes of Love is Blind. Again, I would love to hear all your thoughts in the comments below. We could be in for an interesting season. I would have loved to have seen Alex and Madison become a couple, go through, and also Mason and Mel stay as a couple. For the mess, I'm gonna be honest, for the mess, to see them maneuver that whole situation. So it may be a boring season. I hope not. I hope we do still get juice. We do still get some drama. Do you know what? I'm gonna be realistic now, not optimistic. At least one good couple that lasts all the way throughout. Ashley and Tyler, what a disappointment. I don't know if you guys remember, I obviously covered the last season and I was gonna do the reunion. And when I watched it and just saw how Ashley was carrying herself with the whole Tyler situation, all the interviews she did after, I was like, I just don't want to cover the reunion, because what did our parents say? If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. And I'm a black woman. I'm gonna want to support black women, period, right? But just seeing Ashley in this whole situation, this man has kids, he's abandoning them, and how she was carrying herself in that whole thing, I didn't have it in me to, because what I would have to say would not have been nice. So I just left it. And now they're not even together anymore. They've divorced. What a disappointment. If you saw my reviews anyways, you saw my thoughts on that whole situation as it was unfolding. But I'm interested to get to know these couples more, see what unfolds, see if they bring in new couples. Are Taylor and Daniel gonna make it? Sam and Ben, what couple am I even rooting for at this point? Comment below what couple you're rooting for, but I'm trying to think. I was rooting for Alex and Madison, but maybe Madison had some work she needed to do. Maybe they will find their way back to each other. The trailers is not giving that. But yes, guys, help me maybe. Comment below what couples you're rooting for on this season. And any other thoughts you have. Like I always say, I enjoy getting into the comments with you guys, having conversation about this. I love dating shows. I love love. I love talking with you guys about all of this, helping me see another perspective as well. So yes, that is all from me. I will be back on Friday when the new episodes drop with a review for you guys. As always, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. All that good stuff I'm going to ask you to do, please do. And I'm just rambling now, and I don't really know how to end this. So I'm just gonna go.